Hello everyone, good morning, happy Scraps Sunday. I promised you a couple of videos this weekend and this will be my third. Yeah, I think my third. My family is awake and alive, as I like to call it, so if you hear anything in the background, it's because it's evening time and everyone's about doing their thing. So this is my third or fourth, maybe even fifth layout in a row. Like I said, I have Fridays off and all to myself, so I really took advantage of a nice long afternoon without the kids and went to town. But this layout was quite a challenge for me. I did work off of a sketch, which you'll see in a little bit, but and since I took this photo, I always knew what the title was. The top photo is my son drinking his apple juice. Through a straw, but it's also in one of those dainty little, I think it's like a whiskey glass. So it always looks like a mini wine glass for kids. And at my in-laws for Christmas time or any fancy gathering that we have, he normally gets that little small wine glass, as we call it, and it always has apple juice in there for him. So he always thinks that he's fancy and grown up. So the first photo on the top is the posing one that I'm like, I'd like to take a photo of you guys, so they're posing. And then the second photo on the bottom, when you get to pay attention towards my layout, here I'm just showing you that sketch real quick, you'll notice that their faces I'm laughing because their faces is actually my daughter's face is telling me, please mom, no more photos. And my son is giving me his fake, if I smile she'll go away and stop taking photos smile. But I interpret it a different way just to make this layout a little bit funnier because of, like I said, the wine glass situation. So those arrows that I have there, I cut out. You can see the negative part there underneath my left hand. I cut out using my Cricut, and I used the Graphically Speaking cartridge. And funny, that smaller arrow on top that points to the top photo, I lose it somewhere and I forget to use it on my layout. Honestly, this layout gave me such a hard time. I edit out most of it because it would have been, even fast forward, it would have been like a 3-hour tour. But yeah, I don't know. Sometimes even with the sketch, I think it's just you want to translate it, but it's not that easy all the time. But here I'm trying to be more proactive with my scraps. And cutting down corners and just getting into the habit of that. Since I have the foam backing, I do have a little bit more height and thickness to my photo, so I seem to be going towards using less full sheets behind my photos, and so that leaves me with more scraps to do more things with. And I'm just cutting a second piece of vellum here to have a second part to my title. And off camera here, I'm using that book punch again, and it was so funny that Rory left a message on my last video saying that she had to put her punch away and that it should come with a warning that it's so addictive, and I laughed so hard because I'm addicted. I'm not putting it away. I don't know. I don't know what I did without it. It's just so useful. Crazy. I don't know, but I really like it. So I told you every single layout has that book punch edge thing. I don't even know the proper name for it. So here I am hot gluing my photos down, and again making really good use of the negative portion, leftover pieces of pattern paper that are just going to peek out through the sides because I really love that layering look, and if you haven't tried it out, you should try it. This is peeling job number 1. I take a little bit of that cardstock back paper with it, but it's okay. And I'm still fooling around with that top arrow, and I laugh because only when I tidied up my desk did I find it, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, honestly, if I should have like an outtake at the end of this. You wouldn't believe what happened. Like my light fell, the light that I used to do my recording, and all kinds of stuff. So, but I made it through and I had so much fun, and I do like it. And this is from my own idea. my own interpreted sketch. So obviously every little bit that we use and that we do, you know, can always be inspired by everything that we see, but it's kind of fun to see my layouts come to life, as I call it. So I really am happy that I did use the 2 photos that I thought of when I did take them, or not really when I took them, no, but when I saw them and Instagrammed them, then I really knew what I wanted to say. So this is my second portion to my title, and I'm just kind of freehanding, and to be honest, these have like negative pieces to them, like the E's and the A's and stuff like that, and I'm not a fan of always having them stuck to my fingers, and my fingers are already full of a lot of Tombow liquid glue, and I find it hard. Like I get frustrated with them, and they're very, like, you see this little dot that I'm using for my question mark. You have to be very detailed with it, and I don't have fingernails at the moment that help me do anything just because of how much crafting I've been doing, plus the dry weather doesn't help. So the title is Way Too Much Apple Juice, Are We Drunk Yet? No, my kids are not drunk, but they look like it, right? But because I told you the truth, now you know what that photo really means. So here I am backing that onto some really light paper just so that I could glue down the letters and not have any glue showing through. But it still looks beautiful. It's kind of like a very faint wood grain on beige tone paper. And then I was just using some foam to back that up and lift it so it stays nice and high and even with the photo backing. So I think that looks really awesome. But then here I go again. I think I glued down that arrow on the top with the hot glue gun, and eventually I will peel that up. And the bottom one, I don't think I do any foam to it. And here I was just cutting off a little bit more so that that wood grain underneath would be exposed, and just extra layers. And yeah, I think at this point I'm really indecisive. Like, you see, I'm flipping around those arrows. I'm thinking, what do I like? What's missing on this page? Where is it going? I kind of have the basic idea, but I don't really know where it's going. And to be honest, I know how I was feeling when I was doing this. I wasn't feeling it. I really like color, and I really liked the color of the arrows, even though both sides looked great, but I really wanted to use it. Here I'm trying to really incorporate those tags that we got in the kit. The top one doesn't end up staying on the layout. I eventually do more layering, and that will be covered up. But partially it's because I regretted that I didn't back the word sweet with a darker piece of patterned paper just to make it stand out a little bit more. But I wasn't crafting in my best behavior, as I call it at this point. I was frustrated for some reason. Maybe I was hungry, or I needed a snack of some sort. I'm not sure. So this is where I kind of put that tag there to the left underneath the bottom photo with the reindeer antlers, or the deer antlers. And this is where I started to look at that sticker sheet a little bit more and starting to get different ideas on how and where this layout was going to go. So still trying to play with that jelly bean soup tag. Here is where I find that I kind of regretted I didn't put backing onto the word sweet. And I'm going to glue down the polka dots to the arrow because I really do like the arrow, because obviously it's an arrow themed layout, so it looks good. But I think I did it backwards because now the arrow is pointing out. And from as much as everyone's taught me on YouTube, you should always be pointing towards your subjects. And then I've got that big open gap to the left side of the bottom photo, and I'm fussy cutting out the word winter from the sticker sheet. And although I like the pop of color, it's not the right thing. And I'm still trying to do something about the sweet until I find the Deer Lodge sticker. And then all of a sudden it comes to me, and I'm thinking, of course, where else would you go and drink apple juice? At a deer lodge. Aha! I'm nuts. I've told you that before. So then it lets me bring in the little reindeer, or whatever that is, onto the bottom. And then I'm so happy. And then I get my mojo back. Sort of, kind of. Wait, it's coming. There's more. So I place everything there and I'm liking it. And I'm thinking it's funny, and I try to get, remove the sweet. It's not working. It'll cause way too much damage because I've done so much, lift and peel today that it's, the layout saying no. So it stays there just for added layer and interest. Paper clip, yep, because that's what I've been doing, and that's what I'm going to keep doing. And so far I'm happy. I'm thinking, yeah, this is great. Looks good. Put a little sticker in the corner, using up all my stuff. Feeling really great. Everything's coming along. So nice. A couple of snowflakes for, pops of navy blue here and there. And then I'm staring at the layout and I'm thinking, it so needs an edge. Doesn't it need an edge? Look at that. Wow. Fabulous edge. Yes, it does. And that piece of paper does it. But guess what? My layout is so thick that I can't cut it by any means. So now I'm frustrated again. Now I'm back to being hungry and not sure what I'm going to do. So I think about it and I think about it and I think, oh, can I use my X-Acto knife and cut it? And I'm cracking the paper and I'm thinking and I'm like, so what do? I tear the edge on one side and I believe I hand cut the other, and I think it's recorded, but I love it. I think that looks awesome, but I don't want to waste the whole sheet of paper. So I go ahead and cut out 2 border strips and I lay it down, and I think it looks stunning on both sides. And I try my best to really measure it out, but my nerves are on fire. To be honest with you, I was just like, I don't know. I think I went upstairs to get a bowl of rice after this. And so here's where I freehand cut it, and I'm thinking, this has got to work, right? Yeah. Then I stick this down, and it goes down crooked. And unlike everyone else out there who says that their ATG does not stick, mine sticks very hard. So this goes on crooked. I use my trimmer to get it right-sided and final little trimmings, and I think I made it to the end of this video. Hopefully none of you were hurt during this process. I'm measuring it out to make sure it's still going to fit in my album, and thank you for making it to the end of this one with me. Stay tuned for some awesome close-up photos, a date stamp, a word stamp, and thank you kindly for joining me. I think it looks awesome. I think it turned out great. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great day.